everyone, my name's Rhonda from Soapery. I'm so excited that you're joining me today, and I thought that I'd do a video on me making my lip balms from scratch. So today I'll actually show you how I sanitize my products, prep the station, and then of course we're going to be melting down all of the products that we need, the raw materials, and then from there we will pop them into the lip balm containers. We'll also put the label on. I'll show you how I do everything in my processes as I go along, and I'll also include the recipe and give it a go and see how you go. My channel is all about teaching everyone how to make your own bath and body products, and hopefully you give it a go and start your own business like me one day. But if you would like to just watch me and you find it a bit of fun, and then you would love to buy our products, of course in the bio my website is in there, so just jump onto my website and you can purchase our products. We ship all over the world. There's no place we don't ship to. Please do have a look at that. If you are buying soap from my company though, we do not ship to the UK. The UK's laws are very, very strict in regards to soaping, and they're just a little different to ours in Australia. Ours here are also strict and manned very tightly from our health departments, but like I said, the UK is a little bit different, but that's getting into soap. But for today, we are, like I said, doing lip balms. So let's get going and I'll show you exactly how we're going to do it.
Hi everyone, I'm back again. So now what we're doing is we've got all of our lip cases that we're going to be using. So these are just the lip balm tubes that you use. We actually purchase ours from Aussie Candles in Australia, and we buy them in massive big bags of 500 to 1,000 of them. You can buy them, I think, in about 2,500 lots as well, but we just don't want to have massive boxes like that. 500 still comes in a huge box. So all we're going to do is just literally sit them on a paper tray with the open end of the lip balm up in the air, because we're going to be spraying these with rubbing alcohol. So literally we're just going to line them all up, and the reason I'm going to spray them with rubbing alcohol, or isopropyl as it's called, is just to disinfect them and make sure it doesn't have any nasties inside, because they do come from factories and they've had lots and lots of hands touching them. So making them clean is number one key in making beautiful lip balms that your customers will really love and you'll be proud to offer. Okay, so now let's get everything set up, ready for our lip balms. So all we're going to be doing is popping all of the sanitized lip balms inside this little tray. This tray is designed for these lip balms, that they hold roughly about 9 grams in lip balm material inside each tube. And there's about 50 holes, so for 50 tubes of lip balms you can do in one go. So, and do remember, these have all been sanitized. We did that just before, and once you've sprayed them with the isopropyl, you just let them sit for a couple minutes, and all of the isopropyl will actually just evaporate with the environment, and then of course they're ready to pop in here and ready for the next stage. Alright, so now we've got our raw ingredients ready, and in the raw ingredients that are just sitting here, you'll see that they are certified products and they are also ethically sourced. So first of all, here is the beeswax. This is unrefined beeswax. That's why you can see that it's yellow and not white, because it's as natural as you can get. And this beeswax is going to help us to get the product nice and hard. That's what beeswax does, but it will actually dry quite fast, so you do need to work fast once the oils are all going to be melted. And once we use all these products, we were just going to put them in a double boiler. So here is your cocoa butter. So this one is also a sustainable product as well from Heirloom Australia. The way that you can actually get this to be in a fine grade like this is you need to actually shave it with a peeler, potato peeler, or a grater. That's the easiest way to go because it does come in a massive hard rock form. So that's the most important thing, is how you're going to actually cut it down and shave it. If you use a knife, it can be really dangerous and it's really hard to get all that ready. So now I'm just going off to find the butter so that I can actually show you what it looks like. So here's the cocoa butter, and as you can see, it comes in this massive big rock form because it is natural, and that's how it dries like that. So it's super hard. But anyway, that's exactly what it looks like, just so that you can see. So just to note, we are actually using 70 grams of the beeswax that I just showed you and 55 grams of that cocoa butter. So now we're going to get our shea butter ready. So the shea butter is an unrefined shea butter. As you can see here, it is in a massive form. So all you do is break it up. It is actually not too hard. It's quite kind of a medium density and soft. So with this one, we're going to also be using 55 grams of the shea butter that you can see here. So I pop it all into the separate containers, that way it's just easier for you to see, but I have already pre-measured all of these ones out. So like as you can see, it is quite yellow and natural, so it's as natural as you can get. And I really do love this particular shea butter. So like I said, it is unrefined and it is ethically sourced, so that is really important for me and for my company as well. And then after that, we are also going to be adding some coconut oil. With coconut oil, it can be drying, so don't use too much. I only use 10 grams of my coconut oil as well, and it comes in a hard form. And then of course we're going to be melting all of these down in the double boiler. So and I'm just showing you here, like I said, the coconut oil here. So it does come hard and then it will liquefy itself later. If the room is hot, or you know, we're in summer, then that will actually liquefy itself. The same as this lip balm. Like all lip balms, if you leave it in a heated car, it will turn into liquid. So don't just leave it there. You do need to actually, you know, make sure it's in a cool place, or you know, a dry place, which is a little hard in summer. So just try and wrap it in your bag or something like that. So now we've got all of our hard oils, they are all totally ready, and we're going to set them aside, and then they will be going in the double boiling first. So the whole idea is to try and keep these under about 75 degrees when we're heating them, so that we don't lose the goodness and all the nutrients inside of these, because they are raw products. So that's the reason that I've chosen these ones, because they are actually really good for you and for your skin as well. So with these, we also do need to add also a liquid form. So we will be adding in some jojoba oil, as you can see here. So there's 30 grams in here, and I've also added in some vitamin E, and there's only 3 grams of vitamin E. Vitamin E looks like honey. It's really thick and sticky like honey, but it is amazing for your skin and also for your lips to help with hydration, and of course some other bits and pieces. And then we are also going to be adding in this fragrance. So for this particular one, we are going to do a berry burst flavor. So this is lip safe. It is totally approved and certified, and this comes from Aussie Candles in Australia. Then we're also going to be adding in a color. So the color also comes from Aussie Candles, and it's called Mauve, and that is actually a lip safe cosmetic grade color as well. Alright, so we've got all of our ingredients, so now we're just going to be organising our double boiler. So as I'm in my studio today, we actually have this little electric little pan. So all we're going to be doing is we switch it on to a medium level. So don't make sure it's not too high. You don't want it boiling everywhere. You only need about an inch of water in the bottom of the little pot. And then of course I have this stainless steel little pot that sits in the top. This is actually a candle pot, but it's only used for lip balm in here, and it's clean and sanitized, of course, just like everything else. So we're going to be putting in all of of your hard butters. So any hard butters or oils, they just basically mean something that comes in a hard form. And then anything that's considered a liquid oil or butter, that is one that comes in a liquid form, you know, such as like, you know, olive oils or apricot oils and so on. So I've got all of my lip balms that you can see just put to the side of the screen there as well. We've already sanitized them and they're ready in their casing. So we're just going to melt these butters down until they're ready, and then once they are melted down, we will also, just before they're totally done, we'll be adding in the jojoba oil and the vitamin E that we already have in a separate container, and then we're just going to mix them so that they all mix together and are ready for the lip balms. So we're going to keep mixing our mixture, as you can see in here, until it's totally melted. So you can see in here that the base of it is melted, but the beeswax takes longer. The beeswax will always take longer to melt. So don't take it out until the beeswax is totally and utterly melted, because you do want that to be a really nice, smooth consistency, so that everything should be, looks just like a liquid form, and it will be in a golden sort of color. But for now, we're going to be adding in our vitamin E and the jojoba oil to the mixture, because you want all of the oils to be combined. And because if they're not combined, they just won't stick together well and they'll separate later. So you definitely don't want that. And then once we get all that ready, we'll be on to the next step to add the colors and the fragrance. But we need to test to make sure that the temperature is right. Like I said, you just don't want to be adding in the fragrances and things like that unless the temperature is under what we actually want it to be. So it should be 75 or less. And that's really the perfect time to add in all the colors and of course everything else. So anyway, you can see here now it has totally come to a liquid form. So we just make sure it is the right temperature to put everything in. If it's not, just take it off and then just leave it for a minute. You can see that I've removed it from the hot water here. And now I'm just going to be adding in my color. So like I said, this is mauve and it's a cosmetic grade mica that we're using. You don't need to use it. You can leave it totally plain if you like, but most of my customers do like a tiny bit of color in it. And it's not going to make their lips ruby red or anything like that. It's basically just for an aesthetic look that they might want, and it just reminds them of the color. So obviously it's maroon, and then that will remind them of wild berries, because it is a berry flavor. So when you're adding in your colorant, don't add a lot in. You can just add in 1/4 teaspoon, which is what I usually start with. If you think I need more, then you just change it again. And then in here I'm adding 1 to 2 of these. You can add 1/4 or 1/2 teaspoon of your fragrance oil in here as well. And like I said, we're using a berry one in this, or you can do a mixture of a couple if you like. So now that everything is mixed in, make sure you stir it for about 1 to 2 minutes. And then once it's actually mixed in and all the color is 100% mixed all the way around, we're just going to put it into this tray. So the tray has the lip balms that are already stuck in, and this is like a flooding tray at the top. So you don't need to sit it in, don't need to be perfect and sit it in each particular little tube. You can literally pour it over the top, because it does have edges that stop it flooding over. And then what it will do, it will literally just go inside all the tubes. Then you let this bit dry, and then we'll scrape it off on the top. So yeah, so as you can see me doing it here, and you really only need them to sit here and dry for about 15 to 20 minutes before you come back, scrape the top off, and then you can melt that down to put it in into some more tubes, because everything here is sanitized, so there should be no risk of contamination, because you have sanitized all of your ingredients and all of your products. Alright, so we've let it dry now for about 15 to 20 minutes, and all we're going to be doing is scraping off the top layer, as you can see here. So this is just a little plastic art, little sort of palette scraper that all you're going to do is literally just scrape it off the top. You can use a metal one if you like, but the plastic one definitely is better because we don't want to have any little plastic bits that could be possibly scraped off with the metal one. So I suggest definitely using a little plastic one, and just be gentle. It will easily come off. And then the idea of this is then you know it's in all the grooves. You can melt down the extra bits you're scraping off, and then you can put it in some more little lip balm tubes so that you don't waste any of your mixture at all. So that's what I do with all of mine. So you can see me scraping it, and like I said, then I will fill the rest up and we'll be on to the next bit. So while we're waiting for the lip balms to dry a bit more, we're just going to sanitize the lids. So just pop the lids in a sanitized container, which I'm just using this little Pyrex glass container, and then all you're going to be doing is just spraying it with your sanitizer. So like I said, mine is isopropyl, which is we always call it rubbing alcohol, but its real term is isopropyl. And then we're just going to be mixing it around with our hands, and then pop it onto just some sheet of paper, or you can pop it onto your paper towel. I always use paper towels, and then just leave it for, you know, a couple minutes, and all of the isopropyl will evaporate just with the normal air. So yeah, so just leave it for a few minutes, and once that's done and we clean up the lip balms, then we can just pop the lids on, and there is no risk of contamination or it touching anything else. So everything is almost ready. So what we're going to be doing now is getting a heat gun, and you just go over the top, and then that will actually give the top a silky glossy sort of look, just as you would get in a shop. You don't have to do this step, but if you want it to be nice and glossy and beautiful, then all you do, like I said, is literally just gently go over the top, making sure that you're not burning anything or making it too hot. So just keep your distance, and it's just a quick smoothing on the top of each of the lip balms. Alright, so they're almost ready. All we're going to be doing now is simply pulling them out, so you can see how smooth it looks on the top. The only difference is there is like a centimetre or so on the top which sticks out, and then you just wind it down. But if it comes out too much, you'll just need to get the palette knife and just scrape over the top and smooth it out with the gun again. But for here, we're not going to be doing that. All we're going to be doing is just taking them all out, getting them all ready, so that way the lids can go on soon, and of course winding down any lip balm bit that's on the top, because you want that to be flush for the lid to go on. Alright, so they're all ready to be capped. So all we're going to be doing is literally just putting the cap on each one, and make sure you push the cap on nice and tight, and that way we know that all of these have done and they're sanitized and they're ready to go for the customers. The last thing that we'll be doing on this is literally just be creating our labels that are going to be going on the top. For anyone that watches my other videos, you'll know that I do all my labels in conjunction with Canva, and then I also print them out with a pre-cut machine that I have, and all of the labels will be printed on printable vinyl. So for now, like I said, we're just going to put all the caps on and get them ready for the next step. Alright, so we're getting them all ready now. So like I said, everything has the lids on, everything's been capped. All we're going to be doing is spraying some isopropyl onto some paper towel and just wiping around them, because do remember we have been using butters and oils, so the outside may have a sticky residue, and the printable vinyl will not stick onto these if we don't do this. So we definitely do need to do that and make sure that we've got everything ready. And I'm sure that you'll probably notice that I have actually popped my lip balms in a bit of a love heart shape just to show you how cute they can look. And now I'm just going to be popping on my printable vinyl labels. Make sure that you check your legals in your country, what you need to have on them. But in Australia, we do need to have manufacturing details. We also need to have ingredients that are listed, the weights of the products, and so on. And I always pop on my details, of course, my website, and the directions of how to use and so on. But you can just go, if you're in Australia, to the health department, look on their website, and it will tell you exactly what you need to do in regards to the legals. And if you're in another country, such as the US, the UK, or further, then just go to your website, your company's website, and your government website, and have a look to see what you need to do. But I'm sure there's lots of soaping and cosmetic groups that will give you some advice of that as well if you're in that country. So anyway, we'll keep going and we'll stick all of these beautiful labels on, and then they'll be ready and it will make them just look lovely. I put all of mine in a glass jar as well once I've done, so that way I know which particular one is which, because I do have lots of different scents. So like I said, today we're doing berry, then we also have some watermelon, some chocolate, we have lemon meringue, peppermint, lavender, so there are quite a few different ones. And just make sure that when you do your label that it fits around. So you need to measure the length of your lip balm and then the length of the label. So the full length of the label here should be about 2 inches if you're using a pre-cut machine. And then of course you need to check how wide it is. I think this is 1.6 wide, and the reason I say it in inches is pre-cut machine actually does ask in inches, so that's why I stick to that particular measurement. But anyway, hopefully this has helped you a little bit so that you know you can see exactly how we're going to be doing that bit. And last but not least is we're just going to be putting these plastic seals over the top. So all you do is rub it in your fingers, then we're just going to pop in the lip balm in the center of it. And then once that's done, we'll get the heat gun and we'll go over the top, and this secures it so that nobody can open the lid, so that your customers know that definitely nobody has used the lip balm that they are going to be buying. So I'll keep going with this and you can watch me to the end, and then of course I will pop on my pictures that I always do, which are my social media pictures and ones that will go on my website, so you can see the finished product and how beautiful it does look, and that you can definitely make this yourself. You can also buy pre-made mixtures if you don't want to make this yourself. Heirloom do sell a pre-made mix. At the very start, when I was first learning, I did use that, but of course now I make my own mixes because it isn't very hard at all. Anyway, and you can see me here now just using the heat gun, showing you what it's like to put the last plastic sleeve on and doing it all. So hopefully this has helped everyone make your own, and if you'd like to subscribe, please do. Just pop on the notification and you'll know when my videos come up. I always do a weekend and then of course a midweek, and sometimes in between I'll add a little bit extra. So hopefully this has helped, and do remember at the bottom, as I said, I will pop in the recipe so that you can give it a go yourself. Thanks so much for listening everyone, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.